Welcome to A Woman's Brew, where women talk about beer. In today's episode, we're ringing in the new year with an end-of-year wrap-up bonus episode. I'm Joanne, and this is Tori.
Happy New Year!
And we're two beer-loving women on a mission to get more people drinking and talking about great beer. Come join us! Right, much like our Christmas beers episode, we're sticking this in as a bonus because we just had too many episodes in December.
Too many episodes, and nothing really could be bumped, but we wanted to do it anyways because we always do our wrap up. So that happened.
Look at those Untappd stats, yo.
And I'm going to be very clear. My Untappd stats are not actually representative of everything I had because I barely scratched the surface of getting to check things in because I always leave it till later, and then when later comes it's normally because I'm in a rush to check things in, like for things like this. So I think I only made it all the way back to like September, October.
Oh no, you're very far behind.
I have checked things in throughout the year, but when it's like big mass check-ins, I'm like, I'll do it later. And then I go through my phone album to try to see like what I have to check in. And it's normally like massive bulk of photos from an event, beer photos, massive, and I'm like, I can't make it through. And as I've said, when you see, you'll know that I've done a mass check-in because normally I won't rate things. It'll just say late check-in on it because I don't think it's fair. Even if I know I liked it, I don't think it's fair to rate it. I just put it in there so it's there, so I know what's there for things like this. And it's in bulk, and you'll be like, what is going on here? Like, are you absolutely on the piss? So I'm not really prepared. Did you manage to get all your things checked in?
Yeah, all of mine are checked in. I'm up to date. I did do a while back, I did do like a massive catch up because I hadn't done any for ages. And I feel like maybe because I was looking, one of the stats when we get into it is places that how many different places you checked in from, and mine says 8, and I'm like, that's not
definitely
true.
not.
But it's
8.
because I've checked them in afterwards, so you can't select the place that you were at. You can't select the location.
Really annoying,
right? Because you're too far away.
I hate that so much. I get that, really annoyed with that.
So we went to so many different places this year, and I didn't check in on the spot because busy. And did it afterwards, and so it only looks like I went to like 8 different places, which is not true. So maybe one of my goals next year might be to actually check in on the spot, or at least within the vicinity, so I can check it in.
That might be similar to one of my goals. We'll see when we get to that towards the end. And also, I just want to point out we both have our covers. Again, we didn't intend to match. I had no idea what you were wearing. You had no idea what I was wearing. I've been wearing the shirt all day. Or when I could be bothered to get out of my pajamas. So this is it. And you'll probably notice if you're listening that I probably still sound like I have a cold. That's because I do, but now that Christmas is out of the way, I don't give a single fuck anymore. So I'm here. I've got cheese. I've got balsamic reduction because I'm just in charcuterie cheese board mode really for the rest of the year. And I'm drinking my Christmas Day Apocal because I didn't actually get to drink it on Christmas Day. Because actually I didn't drink a surprising amount comparatively on between Christmas Eve and Christmas New Year because I was sick and I was hosting Christmas Eve. So that slowed down my alcohol consumption. So this is a great excuse why I need to have this. It's a Scottish Pale Ale and finished in Rioja casks with clove and studded clementines. So I'm very excited to have this cheese. I like it. It's funky. I've been loving the funk lately.
I really enjoyed because I actually had it last year at Christmas.
So I've been holding on to this for a while.
You held on to it, and also because I bought them just before Christmas for us, and you were in the US, so I actually didn't get to have Christmas, and you didn't.
I didn't get to get them until the New Year, and then I was like, well, I can't have it now. It's Christmas.
It's Christmas Day. I really enjoyed, like, I don't know, are you still getting like that really fresh clementine?
I was just gonna say, I was just about to say, like, the aroma that comes through is very much like, clementine first, like that is good. But it's like with funk. It's like funky clementine, but in the best way, if that makes sense. And then just it tastes this nice like crispness to it, and it's just it's really, really nice. I've only had a few sips so far, and I think it's going to pair great with this cheese that I'm going to go on mute when I eat it, because I don't want any of that like ASMR. There's like really great food ASMR. People probably don't appreciate that. What are you drinking, Jo?
I am drinking Coffee Bake, which is one of Brew York's 4 showstopper beers. They're all to do with cakes and bake off, but this is in collaboration with Funky Fluid, who were on my list of breweries to try, and I haven't got to try them yet, so I was like, I'm gonna grab that, drink it. It is delicious. It's a Polish coffee cake stout, so you expect it to be like nice and coffee, but there's like a real fruitiness to it.
Oh, really?
Like dried fruits. So it's like coffee, but like it's like really good coffee. Like, when you get like the really good like single origin coffee that's got like those berry notes to it.
Yeah.
It's got that.
Nice and fruity.
And there's like a bit of spice in there. And it smells
delicious.
like it smells like plums. And
not what I would have expected.
Right, from a coffee cake. But also it smells like brown sugar crumble.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Well.
I like that.
There's a lot going on in this, and it is delicious.
I'm glad I bought myself one, because I bought myself one going, this sounds really nice. And I forgot it was the ones that you got. And I was like, this sounds amazing. So now I'm going to be interested to try it.
Also, I wasn't paying attention. It's 10%. And we're recording kind of mid-afternoon.
To be fair, it's late enough in the day. I think it's all right.
Oh yeah, no, it's fine. I was just like, oh yes. I mean, it's got a bit of booziness to it, but I wouldn't be like, oh my god, this is 10%, so dangerous.
Arguably better to have it at this time that we're recording, because I'd say it's late afternoon, early evening.
Yeah.
Better to have it now than trying to do it when we normally record, which is like 7-8 o'clock at night. So well done.
Yeah. So that's what I'm drinking. So that ticks off, I think, the last brewery off of my list for this year that I hadn't tried. So
which we'll go through all that in a minute.
We'll get
before we get into all the stats and everything else. How just a quick catch up. How was your Christmas? How was the last bit? I mean, I've been talking to you throughout anyways, because we've been back to back. But for anyone that doesn't know, how was your Christmas? Did you get any like good beery gifts or anything like that?
Well, every year Gordon gets me a bottle opener of some shape or form. He got you a bottle opener last year.
I'm using the podcast today.
Yeah. So this year he got me one that says Certified Cicerone on it, because I passed my Certified Cicerone this year.
You did?
That was a goal that I chucked myself into, and
you did it.
I did it. Didn't know if I was going to, but I did. Very, very pleased with that. I got this t-shirt, which is so we're both wearing our Coven t-shirts, but I've got one of the new black ones on, and on the back, you can't see if you're watching the video, but on the back it says I want a pint. So
mine's the one that says she's delicate.
Oh, it's my favorite
but not like flowers, like unfermented sugars in a can.
Yeah, that's my favorite one. So I've got that. He also got me a like daily calendar, and it's got different beers on it.
Oh wow.
And different like facts about beer on it.
That's impressive.
So there's thing every day, so that's going to be interesting. It's very US centric though, so I don't think I'll be able to have any of the beers that are on it.
Maybe you might learn some bits that maybe
I think it'd be interesting.
Something that's maybe not as common to know about over here, maybe.
Or I might have to, the next time you're over there, I might have to send you and find some if we find some that are really interesting.
I was gonna say, it's hard though, isn't it? Because as we've learned over this last year, it's incredibly difficult, because you can see a beer, and even if it's like a brewery that's relatively like decently sized, if it's in another state, like
no chance. Yeah.
It's not there's no chance, it's just very, very little.
Slim to none.
Unless you're there. But yeah, I mean, what are some of the highlights from this year that we can sort of talk about?
We've done so much this year. If you look back at it,
it's almost hard to remember it because it is so much to think about.
Did you realise that we brewed 3 beers this year?
This year we brewed 3 beers.
So we brewed Brave Noise with Mirakai.
We did, yeah.
We brewed She's Fruity with Lost Industry, and we brewed
The espresso martini.
The espresso martini one with Heist.
Yeah.
So those two were International Women's Collaboration Brew Days. So we brewed 3
actually.
beers. We curated a bar at Arundel Beer Fest.
We did. That's like, there's so much to be proud of. Like, we had our face on a label. We had our podcast name on a label.
We were on a beer label, which I happen to have here.
But on multiple beer labels, but our faces specifically were on
the Mirakai Brave Noise one.
And I sent that one home for my siblings, so they both have now a can of my face on it, and they both like were like, "Oh my god, I love it! This is amazing! This is the best thing ever!" And I was like, "Yeah, I know, right?" Like, it is that thing of, I think you forget to be like, not that you forget to be thankful, but some people really take for granted like these opportunities. Like, you never think you're going to get certain opportunities like this, and then you get the opportunity when you least sort of expect it. It's something that's really cool. And other people might go, "Oh, that's not that impressive." Like, someone that gets to do it all the time, whereas in the industry, we might go, "Oh, it's not that impressive." But to a person that does not work directly in beer, that never thought, and you at the time didn't work directly in beer, you know, we didn't think we were going to get to have some of these opportunities. I mean, we got to speak to Ash and Ren, like, directly from the Brave Noise team. Like, that was really, really cool. I feel like we got to do so many things. Yeah, we traveled. We've been to Sheffield.
We went to Sheffield. We went to Arundel. Where else did we go? We went out to Sussex to see Mirakai. Where else did we go?
London. We went to London.
We went to London. Oh, we did the London Craft Beer Cruise, and then we did a little crawl around all the different places. Been all over. I went abroad. You went abroad. You went to Greece.
Yes.
I went to Germany twice.
Speaking of, I've only just started writing my write-up for Greece, because I was like so bitter for so long about my stuff, and then it just got to be like, first I was like annoyed and bitter, and I didn't even want to talk about it because I didn't want to write about it before I'd even got my suitcase back. And then my suitcase came back. And then it was like, so I literally landed, I don't think people realize, I worked a lot of beer festivals this year. Yeah. I literally landed one night from Greece, and the next day I was working in London at a beer festival. Like no break in between that. So it was just kind of like busy. It's like coming back from holiday, and then it was like working a beer festival. And then next thing I know, I was going to a friend's wedding in Turkey. And then before I knew it, you know, my parents were over for a whole month, and it was just so much back-to-back stuff that I never got a chance to do the write-up of it. But then I'm utilizing this time sort of in between Christmas and New Year's, when we're recording this, to be able to sit and stop and go like, okay, what was I going to write about it, and do it. And obviously I'll talk about this more sort of in my goals for next year sort of thing, but hopefully that is something that I will eventually get written, even if it's just like bare bones and not the best thing I've ever written. My goal is to like get it out there, because I also learned this year that like people will tell you about a country like, oh, their craft beer is not that great, or there's not a lot to look out for, whatever. Like Greece had some amazing kick-ass breweries and beers there, and even just as simple as going to the supermarket. Obviously you can listen to it, we talk about it in one of our episodes, but I feel like the world needs to know about some of these other breweries that I feel like are very underrated and not talked about unless you live there. Like I feel like there's some US breweries and some German breweries that and like mainland Europe breweries and all those that are like the bigger breweries that tend to collab over here and, you know, get shipments over here. And those are the ones that everyone's like, oh, these are amazing, this is great. But unless you're in certain areas, like ones in Greece, for example, so many people tend not to know about them. I'm hoping to get that out not long after this episode's release. So we'll see if I stick to that. Who knows?
Yeah. We also got invited to the podcast show to be on a panel about niche podcasts. That was really exciting.
That's when I was in Greece.
You were in Greece, yeah. So you were in Greece, so I went and did that. That was super fun. We both got invited, but I couldn't go this time. So you went and did a talk about women in beer at Werewolf.
Did, yeah. That was amazing. Cool. That was a good one. That was a good time.
I got a job in beer.
You did?
Which is exciting. And then I went up to Edinburgh for the Women in Beer Festival, and I got to go on a panel about trends in beer. That was exciting. Do you want to know what the trends are in beer?
What's the trends in beer?
Trends in beer are.
I listen to it, but I'll let you. I'll let you say.
Pale sessionable beers that use less expensive ingredients. Core beers that people are going to come back to again and again, and brewers need to be making sure they're using advanced products. Done. And contracting the hops. And they should be trying to use new hop varieties that are being developed for withstanding the fluctuations we're having in temperatures and things like
climate changey stuff, isn't it?
Climate change is real, yo. Look at like this year's hop harvest was abysmal because we had those horribly high temperatures right in the middle of the summer. So there was a drought, and that's not what the hops were used to. We don't irrigate in this country. In Germany, I don't think they're allowed to irrigate because of like rules around.
That's interesting.
Around it. So they're trying to look at doing that. But the hop harvest, particularly in Central Europe, was terrible. SARS, one of like the big Czech hop, was down by like 30% this year, and that's a lot. That's a lot of hops that are not going to go in beer. So
that's insanity. Like just to hear a number put on it.
Yeah,
it's just insane, isn't it?
Yeah. So brewers should be looking at new hop varieties that are being specifically bred to withstand these types of things, because the older varieties, though they are great, they've been growing the way they grow for years, hundreds of years, and they are used to particular climates and particular conditions, and those conditions, because of climate change, etc., are no longer happening. So that's the trends in beer. Start looking for new hops that can emulate the old hops, but are better for the environment, better for sustainability, going to get better yields.
And hopefully, I think that there should also be, I'm hoping they posted it somewhere, there should also be the link to the Women in Beer chat, so the panels.
It was on their Facebook page
somewhere. Yeah, that's where I watched it from. I watched it live streamed, and there was some really good conversations, not just about trends in beer, not just the amazing one that Joe did, but Emma was on one, Pip was on one. Like there was just a lot of really good conversation that was happening.
There was a really good one from some of the lecturers at Heriot Watt about yeast and how that works. There was a really good panel about like unions and how hospitality workers and brewery workers can look out for themselves, and talking about small breweries and how they can develop. That's the one that Emma was on. Really interesting, really good stuff.
Speaking of breweries like Mirakai and the like, we spoke to a lot of brewers this year as well. I don't know, do we actually have a figure of how many brewers we spoke to?
I looked at so we did.
This was not planned. I was just wondering,
did you know?
Because we talked about having the podcast stats, and it seemed like a really good switch course here, and I didn't know if you looked it up, so well done to you, because I thought about it and then I didn't.
I was looking at our podcast stats today, and we did 23 interviews in the last year.
Oh, that's a lot.
And we did 9 Brave Knives episodes.
I'm really proud of that.
I am too.
I think I'm sad because we didn't get to talk to every single brewery that we wanted to so far, and we're hoping to get some of the newer ones in the new year. Like we'll see, there's at least one in store, which you'll learn about eventually. However, there were some of the older ones that I wanted to get a chance to talk to. We reached out and things just didn't align, and it was quite difficult, so we didn't actually get a chance to talk to every single one, and that was our goal, was that we wanted to be able to talk to everyone. And to be fair to us, the goal was to talk to every single one that we were able to get on. And at some point, you can't get everyone on, because it's, for whatever reason, it does not work. So it is what it is. So I'm proud of us that we managed to do as many. We managed to accommodate every single person that did say yes, and we were able to get on. So
and I think we did a really good job of like spreading the word about that wherever we could, and we got specifically picked out as people that the Brave Noise team wanted to see at London Craft Beer Festival when they were able to come over. So I think that's an achievement.
Yeah, and we've had really good conversations, like I said, directly with them, and we do certainly hope that, I know that it's like the end end, quote unquote, this year. Like it has to be released by, it has to have been approved before the end of this year. And I don't know how many they ended up with. Let me have a look. Oh, there's another one that's been added, 40-foot brewery.
Oh.
So looking at it now, I just had a quick look at how many breweries that actually ended up doing the Brave Noise in the end, because we started with, what was it, like 9 or 10? Like just something that was just, we were like, this is not good enough. And I still feel like the number for my liking isn't good enough, but we now are up to, as of literally right this very minute, 15 for the United Kingdom. So to run that through, that's 40-foot brewery, which I hadn't heard of before, but I'm certainly going to go check them out now. Amity, Bedlam, Cloudwater, Elusive, Fierce, Lost and Grounded, Mirakai, Tartarus, The Lane Brewery, Park Brewery, Track Brewing Co., Unity Brewing Co., Vault City, and Wilderness. So they are, I'm quite excited to try some of the new ones that are announced, like Track and Unity, and obviously Elusive. Be interesting to see like what Tartarus pull out of that one. Like, are they going to do a big stout? Are they going to do pale? Like, who knows? 40-foot brewery, never heard of them before, and very willing to check them out now, 100%. So, I think that we've come out with more than we started with at the start of last year, which is a really.
We added half on top.
Yeah. I'm just proud. I'm proud that we managed to I'm proud that the conversations, it's not just us, but we are part of that as well.
And we've definitely kept that conversation going where possible. Like we're still having people that are like, oh, what's that about? And we're able to still continue on with that. And I think some of the breweries on that list are going to carry on with the legacy of it and keep it going. So
and you hope that all the breweries that have got involved so far, that they are genuine, that they, it's not just about the publicity they're going to get from it, that they actually do genuinely stand behind what they're saying and what they're doing. Like, time will tell. And there's always time for, I think we had this conversation with Ash and Ren, it's like there's time for breweries that have not had the best experience for their staff members. Like, there's always sort of a road to redemption. Like, they can stop, turn around and do the right thing and start heading down the right path. They can get the right people on board and put the right procedures in place if they genuinely mean what they say. And I mean, in the same way, like, some of these breweries also could decide that they're not going to uphold. So we constantly need to continue to sort of review who we're supporting and whether or not they've made a brave noise. Like, make sure that you're giving your money to the people that you feel you would want your money to go to, with the best practices. So I mean, hopefully we can at least have 1 or 2 more Brave Noise episodes. Admittedly, we didn't have one for December. It was just too hard to get that in this month, unfortunately, with all things considered. But hopefully in January we have a new Brave Noise episode for you, and we'll just keep doing these type of conversations as much as we can, really.
Yeah, because that's what we're all about. Also, to round out our podcast stats, we got past 100 episodes. This is 122, I believe this episode is going to be. And we went over 10,000 downloads, which is,
that's exciting.
A milestone as podcasts. We're supposed to be excited about that.
I did speak to someone that did work at my office. That, I mean, he's gone now, but he did some marketing stuff in the office as well. And or that level of, he has knowledge of that level of things. And I said, oh, you do a podcast, don't you? And I said, yeah. And I had a conversation with him, and I said, oh, we just hit 10,000 downloads, because this was around the time that it happened. And he went, that's quite good going. And I went, yeah. It's like, but I'm my biggest critic. Like, I'm my biggest critic. So I was like, yeah, but we have been going for like 2 years and all that. And he goes, even in 2 years, I said, we've been going 2 years with an episode a month and all that. And he goes, yeah, but that's still something to be proud of. And I guess because when I look at it myself, I go, I don't really know anyone else's figures. It seems impressive to me.
Yeah.
But as a person that's not in that space, it's easy to kind of go, oh, I'm sure there's like so many people that get like 10,000 downloads and it's probably not that hard. But to have a third party not involved, not heard it, you know, no horse in the race, kind of say 10,000 is a big achievement. You know, if that and you know, making it to over 100 episodes and still continuing to care to want to progress it is a good thing. But 10,000 episodes, he did say, was something to be proud of. So, you know, putting it into perspective when you have a completely unbiased third party tell you that, you know, that was something that I was like, oh, okay, maybe that is more. I was impressed, but I was like, maybe it's even more impressive than I thought it was. So I'm proud of us. So cheers to that.
Cheers. You've done a good job.
We try.
And thank you, listeners, for continuing to listen to us prattle on about who knows what. Let us know.
Sometimes nothing.
Sometimes nothing. Sometimes we just don't even talk about anything. Sometimes we talk about, you know, stuff that isn't even beer related. But you
sometimes I sample like things in this country that I've never had before, and then I go on about how difficult and boring it becomes to eat it because it just like Starburst. Sometimes I go on a diatribe about Starburst and I just go like, ugh, I can't be bothered, it's boring, I'm bored.
Let us know what you want to hear about, because we're doing the podcast planning for next year, so let us know what you want to hear.
We don't want to know what you don't want to hear about, like in the sense of like, if you don't want to hear me talk about Starburst, like I'm and my eating
we can't
habits,
guarantee that.
That's something that I can't promise you. That's I don't plan it in, so I'm not going to plan to take it out. So you can tell us what you don't like and we'll do our best to avoid it.
Yeah,
we make no promises.
Can't guarantee it. Should we have a look at our Untappd stats?
Yeah, I'm going to open it up as we speak, fresh off the app. And again, I remind you all, this is super not 100% accurate. Just for a starting point.
Yeah.
How many beers do you have overall check-ins and how many unique beers do you have at this point?
Oh, hang on.
Mine is super wrong.
Right, so... Because I don't check in every single beer that I drink if it's not a new one. I tend to only check in new ones, or if it's like something significant. So my numbers on this aren't that different. But my overall check-ins are 4,722, and my unique beers are 4,488.
So I've got check-in of 2,549 and unique of 2,146. And I know that is very, very inaccurate. And I think we said it on last year's episode, 100%. Like I opened up Untappd, I started using it when I was in the US, and then I promptly like stopped using it until really probably 2020 or there. But like I'd use it sporadically, but not very much. Between 2013, 2012, 2013 and 2020. There's a lot of stuff that didn't get checked in over those years, but also there's a lot of stuff that just doesn't get checked in a year for me, either because I forget to take a photo of it, I forget to note it down, I don't make the time to check it in, I'm a garbage person, like any of those particular reasons, I don't check it in. I will also say I'm that person that goes to a beer festival and I will like people go, I don't check in the samples or whatever, or the tasters. I'm like, yeah, but it's more than like 3 or 4 sips worth. So it's not like you can designate this is, you just have to go, it's either draft or it's cask.
You used to be able to put in whether it was a taste. Yeah.
But you can't designate and go, I had a third or I had a half. Okay. Like, so I consider anything I had at a beer festival a taster. It's a pour.
So
I count anything I've had at a beer festival that I've had more than like 3 or 4 sips of a taster. And I mean, I will count that. I will log that in. If I've literally just gone, can I have a little bit? And I just go sip here, like 2 sips. I'm like, that's not enough.
But you have to have enough to make an opinion about it.
Yes, exactly. I won't check in something I haven't had that I don't feel I've had enough to make an opinion about. But I am that person that will check in beer festival beers that are like less than a normal like serving size. Or, I mean, it is a serving size because they're normally thirds. At least.
It's a serving. I think also we've been to a lot of festivals where we've been very busy. And so it's like, oh yeah, I did drink that. And you forget what you've drunk.
Oh yeah, completely. And that's also when I check it in, but I don't rate it. Or I forget to take a photo of it. And so
a Or you take pictures of it in the festival glass and then it's just a coloured beer and you're like, I can't remember which one that was.
Yeah, or like, I tried
didn't take it with the pump clip.
I tried to
didn't take the board.
Where I do that and then the pump clip or the board,
Yeah.
even if they're not together. Or I try to write it down somewhere. But what that drunk brain me, or like not even drunk, but just like when you've been drinking, you're having a good time. I'm not always checking my photos. So like sometimes it'll be blurry and I can't read what the fuck I put on there. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know where in my notes I've put this and now I'm confused. Or there's so many that we've tried that you're just like, I can't work it out. Or I'll do that thing where it's like 2 pump clips will be on that photo or a whole board will be on that photo and I haven't bothered to even try to
with it. Yeah.
So I don't check it in because I don't feel like that's fair. So I've definitely let a few good ones go.
And listeners, all of this behavior is valid. It's fine.
It's okay.
Like us and you miss things. It's okay. Don't worry.
It's only Untappd. Yeah. Like it's not the end of the world if you don't check things in.
Yeah.
But that's my problem is I've embraced that. So there's a lot that I know
Embrace
that this number is very not real.
Right.
Anyways, back to those sweet stats.
Right, so how many did you check in this year?
Okay, hang on, let me.
Bearing in mind that you haven't checked them all in.
I'm opening up things now. So I've had 892 check-ins this year, and that's up 75 from last year. Because I was slightly better at checking them in this year than I was last year.
You checked in way more than me. I've checked in 761 and that was up 73 from last year for me.
Right, so I had 892 this year, 817 last year, and 612 in 2020.
So I had 761 this year, 688 last year, and 599 in 2020.
The worst part is I know that these aren't even. I know they're even higher than that, like by an aggressive amount.
Wow,
and that's what makes me feel like a little bit sad. I did my best for the community. What can I say?
Okay.
What was your average rating?
4.38.
4.38. Okay, mine was 4.19.
Yeah, see, we're nice.
I'm definitely
nice people.
I would say part of that contributes to if I think something's wrong. I think we've obviously discussed this numerous times, and Untappd is like a whole separate episode's worth of conversations in itself. Part of which we'd probably be repeating ourselves because we said this so much. But if I think something's wrong with a beer, I won't rate it because I don't feel that's fair. If I've left it past its best before date for whatever reason, I don't feel that's fair to rate it. If I don't remember what it tasted like because I was drunk or it was too long ago and I never made a note of it down, like I have on all these ones where I put late check-in because I've checked them in months ago. I've done them months ago and I don't remember and I've not left myself a note. I don't rate them. I only rate them, even if I know I liked them, I strictly only rate them if it's something I can physically remember enough, or if I've checked it in before and I've rated it something, I very rarely change that rating. Yeah. So, but I'm also quite generous. I kind of keep it partially to my taste, but also in line with style guidelines. If that makes sense. It's like a little bit of give and take. So I'm not going to be like, this is terrible if I loved how it tasted, but it didn't necessarily meet the style guidelines.
Yeah,
you know? I mean, I use it for me 100% about my taste.
Yeah.
How about you? But I mean, like, what's your habits with ratings like?
I mean, I tend to either rate on whether I like if I thought it was really good, but also I'm not gonna, if I've got a beer style that isn't my fave, I'm still gonna, if it's a well-made beer, it's still gonna get a good result because it's what it's supposed to be, even if I'm not necessarily a fan. I tend to do it
that's another one, isn't it? Yeah.
Would I drink this again? And if I don't feel like it's very drinkable, then it gets a lower score.
Yeah. Or I think if it's just like, I know that it could have been done, but like I know that this did not reach its full potential.
Yeah.
And I know that it's nothing to do with, I give it as much benefit of doubt as I can.
Yeah.
But at some point you're just like, it just didn't reach where it was supposed to.
Also, I'm quite good at picking beers that I know that I'm gonna like because I know what I like about beers. And if it's a beer that I've picked and I know I'm not really gonna like it, but I'm drinking it, like I did a lot of where I was studying for my certified cicerone, I drank a lot of different beers this year. So I might not have rated it because I'm just like, I don't like it, but it's
something you had
style,
to drink
but I'm trying it because I want to learn about that beer style, even though it's not my favorite. So
conversely, I think I tried a lot of different things, even stuff that I knew like obviously wasn't necessarily a style that I've loved or anything like that historically, but I think that when it comes to what I like and don't like, I don't like when people say what's your favorite style, and because like literally I really don't think I have a favorite style. I think for me, my favorite style is whatever is interesting.
Yeah, and it depends on what mood you're in.
Exactly. Like there's things where I'm like, I wouldn't normally drink this, but I'm going to give it a go because it's interesting and it's unique. But also I'm probably going to like it 9 times out of 10 if it's made like to a certain quality, because I just find that kind of stuff interesting. It's very rare that I have tastes that I go, I love flavs. Yeah. I don't hide it. I love flavs. So it's very rare that I find something that I'm like, oh no.
Yeah,
absolutely
exactly.
not.
How many different beer styles did you try this year?
Hang on. Mine before that is check-ins by day.
Oh yeah, but I'm disregarding that because I will just like
I was gonna say to me, I've just skewed that because it's like Saturday.
Right, my check-ins by day are Sunday and Saturday, and that's because that's when I've got time to sit and check all the beers in.
That's fair. What was your first check-in of 2022 then?
It was Nightmare Brew York.
Mine was
which probably means I drank it. Which probably means I drank it a couple of days before and then hadn't checked in yet.
That's true. Mine was the maple latte.
Yeah, I feel like that was a catch-up. So
mine could have very well been a catch-up, but I'm not sure. Beer styles I've tried 139 different styles. So good. I'm up 10 from last year.
I tried 146 and I was up 12 from last year.
I don't know what this means when it says your styles and missed opportunities.
So the white ones are the rest of the beer styles you didn't try out of all the ones that are on Untappd, I guess.
Yeah, that checks out. So I've just done the math. 139 works out. Okay. So basically, I've tried the 139 different styles. There's styles and missed opportunities, which you're saying the black ones are the ones that if you're looking at the Untappd scores yourselves, everyone, the black ones are the ones that are what you've tried, and the white missed opportunities are the ones you haven't. So I have missed 110.
I've missed 103.
I've done more than I've missed, which is good. It's not a bad thing. What was your top style?
Sour fruited.
To winning sour fruited.
I'm not surprised by that either.
And it does say this was the number 5 most popular style on Untappd. So I love that. Like, even when we don't try to match, we've come out with our coven. We've got our matching styles.
What was your top beer?
Top beer was Groovy by Werewolf. That's surprising. Funny. I didn't expect that.
Mine is Halloween by Brew by Werewolf.
Amaze. So there we go. Werewolf had the top beer for us.
Yeah.
Your top beer was checked in. So it was checked in 14 times by the community. What about yours?
Mine was checked in 263 times.
Ooh, look at that.
Liked Halloween. Halloween is a good beer.
Yeah, it really is. I didn't get any this year. Beer. I didn't manage to get any this year because it's just been so hectic. I never got a chance to get this year's.
So good. I hope I keep brewing that every year.
Remember, these are the other top beers I've rated. If you have more than what your rating is average, fine. All of my 1, 2, 3, 4, all of my top 5, they have 5-star ratings. What are your top 5s and what are the ratings? I
feel like I ignored that because I only really checked things in once. So I kind of disregarded that. But so mine,
I was gonna say mine, all of these I only checked in once each anyways.
Yeah, so and I don't know if these are the top.
I would agree that mine probably are.
I think they've just selected a random selection of ones that I gave 5 stars to. So my top ones: Rhubarb and Custard by Vault City.
Okay.
Dessert Cart S'mores from Mountains Walking.
Okay. Oh, that was a good one.
It was good. Apple of My Eye, Hidden Springs Ale Works. I think that's one of my beers of the year, actually.
I was gonna say we did check that in numerous. I know I specifically checked. I've
only checked it in once, but it was a good beer. Carrot Cake by Vault City.
That was a good one.
Because it actually tasted like carrot cake. And then Careless Bear from Ra Brewing.
Oh,
I don't think if I'm selecting my top beers, I wouldn't have put that one in there. So it's interesting. I'd be interested to find out how they pick those.
I actually don't disagree with my top 5. And now looking at it, yeah, I definitely checked in this first one 100% multiple times. And that first one is apple of my eye.
That's because you had it multiple times. I only had it once.
Had it so many times, like more times than a person should have. And I remember I was covering the taps for where it was on at Arundel, and I was just like, and just a little bit more for me of this one. I think I drank it a few times until it went out, and because I was like, it's gonna go out, I need to just keep going. It was great, really loved it. Like, it makes me, I feel like everything I've had from Hidden Springs, which is a brewery in Florida in the US, absolutely like phenomenal. I'm like, at least, you know, Florida gave me this, so that makes me happy. Cider Donut was my second one, and that's from Down East Cider House, and that's also a US brewery. And I only checked that in, maybe I checked it in twice, but I will say, if you're an American and you like apple cider donuts, cider donut literally tastes like an apple cider donut. It is amazing. Even if you don't normally like ciders, give it a go. I'm really sad I can't get it easily over here. My third one was Yuzu Berry Double Cheesecake, which was a Yonder and Vault City collab. No regrets. That was also 100% up there. It was fucking phenomenal. I gave a sip of it to somebody. I think it was like someone I'd only met for the first time as well, the second time maybe. But I was just like, here, try this, it's good. And they don't like sours, and they had a sip of it. They were like adamant. Any other sour they've ever tried, they're like, oh no. They're very much like a lager drinker, Hellas lager drinker, like that's that. They tried it and they were like, I want more like this. Like, this is amazing. And I tried to find them another one and they really liked it. But I was like, maybe you just like big fruity smoothie sours. Like maybe they're
just like lemon, because yuzu's quite lemony, and the Hellas can be quite lemony.
No, this wasn't massively, I would say this was not massively lemony, surprisingly. It was just beautiful though. Then my fourth one was Blood Eagle from Holy Goat, which checks out. And my fifth one was Whiny Beast from Wild Beer Co. RIP. That makes me really sad. I couldn't buy any more Whiny Beast. But I would say that one surprised me the most, because I was prepared to be like, it's too much like wine or just not enough like wine, and it was perfect. My only gripe was that my only gripe was the bottle's too big. Once you open it, you have to share it, so it's not like you could just have a cheeky glass of it. Like it's not a single serving size. That was a good in. What were your worst ones? That's like, you might want to forget about these.
Again, I think they've just randomly picked 3 with the lower amounts. Resolution from Marston's Brewery, which I had in a pack of beers because I was using something to do a video with, and I just drank it and the Tesco's Pale Ale and the Tesco's Session IPA from Cloudwater.
Mine was the Warheads Green Apple Sour Ale from Artisanal. Wasn't a fan of that. Forgot to take my pills from Low Tide, which is a non-alcoholic or low alcoholic pilsner. Was not a fan of that, and that checks out. And the Peanut Butter and Raspberry Jam Pale Ale from Guelo, and I'd agree. Like, all of those, I was like, nah, good, keep it, all set. Cool. Looking at the breweries, I drank from 284 unique breweries this year. I was up 21 from last year.
So I drank from 315 unique breweries, and I am 85 up from last year. Wow. So I tried all the breweries this year.
Nice one. It'll be interesting to see how, if I go back and I finish all my check-ins, like if my stats will change. The 5 brews I checked in the most were Siren, Elusive, Phantom, Mirakai, and Vault City. So it's like local friends and just really fucking banging sours. It's like it all checks out 100%. What were yours?
Siren, who's surprised because you get me Siren.
That's it. I give you all my local ones. I'm like, if Elusive's not on it, I will literally be a little bit surprised. Actually.
And obviously we have a relationship with Siren, and I saw him at festivals, so I got a beer from Siren fairly regularly. Thornbridge, which is interesting. I think that's because I had a fair few of theirs when I was at Peakender, and in the local area there. Cloudwater. I had 21 from Siren, 18 from Thornbridge, 17 from Cloudwater. I don't think I've drunk that many from Cloudwater.
Did you have for your like studies the mixed pack, the Tesco mixed packs or something?
I did. So I had that mixed pack, and I had the like smaller breweries support pack. So that's 8. I think I've had a few where Cloudwater have collabed with other people this year.
Fair, yeah.
And then 16 from Mirakai, it's not a surprise, and then 14 from Unbarred.
I've had so I had 44, so I didn't say how many. 44 from Siren, 44 from Elusive. That's only what I've checked in, and not all the other ones that I've forgotten about. 24 from Phantom, 33 from Mirakai, and 20 from Vault City. So like, yeah. How many locations have you visited? Which is what we were discussing. This is biased.
Like I was saying before, I've only got 8 total locations, and that's up 3 from last year. And I visited these 5 the most: the Good Shed in Canterbury, Fuggles Beer Cafe in Tunbridge Wells, Pegasus Tap Room, the Euston Tap, and the Magnet in Broadstairs, which is interesting because I've only been to the Magnet once.
I like the Good Shed. That's the place you took me, wasn't it?
And yes.
And what was the other one that you took me to that I really liked?
Not the Foundry.
It has cinema seats that you like could sit. We sat at a table that had like movie seats.
Yeah, that was the Pegasus.
Cinema. Oh, was that?
That was the Pegasus, yeah.
So it sounded familiar, but I didn't know why.
And I was the second biggest fan of the Good Shed.
So where does it tell you that? Oh, I got this right. Right. So I visited 7 locations, and it says I'm down 7 from last year. So I guess like the majority of last year, by the time I checked things in, it was just at home. So my top 5 visited locations were the Hive, which is my very local coffee shop in craft beer location. That's 63. Siren I visited 16 times. Elusive I visited 15 times, and that's probably because when I go and I do both of them, but Elusive has slightly more elusive hours than Siren does, so I probably went 1 extra time to Siren. Left-handed Giant Brew Pub, because it's actually quite close to my office in Bristol. I visited that 4 times, and I'm gonna say it's pronounced Hub, which HWB, but I think it's called Hub, in Narberth in Wales. I visited that twice. I did 2 check-ins, not 2 visits. But I think it's 2 separate check-ins on the same day, actually. So that was also a little bit cheated. So yeah, I was the number 4 biggest fan of the Hive. And I think that's only because a lot of things I had at the Hive, I didn't check in until I was at home, and I couldn't tag the Hive. Although, to be fair, it's close enough to me that I usually can tag it if Untappd isn't having issues.
Yeah.
Who was your top drinking buddy of 2022?
Well, I only ever check one person, and it's always Louise.
I think I've managed to check you in like a handful of times. That's normally like if we're drinking in person.
I don't think I've ever checked you in because we drink different things when we're at the same time. So
no, so I think I've done it when we've done like certain things, but I don't really do it for every single thing we do for the podcast. It's only been a handful of times that we've like shared a bottle, like I think Wine Beast. So my top drinking buddy was Rick, and I tagged him 451 times. That's up 156 times from last year. So it does say who I've checked in the most was Rick, then you, then Louise.
Louise gets in there.
She still managed to creep into mine. So there we go. I've got 556 badges earned, which is down 87 from last year.
I've only got 341 badges earned. Ooh. Which is down 16 from last year.
Oh no!
I think it's because I've hit level 100 on a lot of them, so I can't get any more.
Fair. What's your top 5 then?
Hopped Down, Pucker Up, Beyond a Shadow of a Stout, Draft City, and Fruits of Your Labour, and I'm on level 100 of all of those. So
I like that one that you said was the fruit one.
Fruits of Your Labour.
That one made me laugh.
Yeah.
That one got me.
I got some good punny names.
Yeah, really good. So here's my top 5 badges. It's I Believe in IPA. I'm level 100. Brewery Pioneer, level 100. Draft City, level 89. 99 bottles, I'm level 39. And 2022 International Year of Glass. I don't know what that is.
Oh, what does that
but
mean?
I'm a level 5.
Oh.
Literally not a clue.
Don't know what that means.
What are your top 5 local badges of the year?
I haven't got any local badges.
Oh, I have Siren Craft Brew, I'm level 35, and Beer You Believe In, and that's level 3. So that's all our Untappd stats.
Yep, that's our stats. Thanks for another great year in beer.
You're welcome, Untappd.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. So moving swiftly on, do you want to recap on what was on your list? We'll recap each other's lists, our list of the top 10 that we had of what we wanted to try, buy, drink more of.
I mean, I didn't do 10. I was realistic and only did 6.
I did 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, yeah, 6. I only did 6 because I was like, 10 was too many the year before. So
I like doing 10 because it feels like a round, hefty number.
Well, yeah, but then it feels like too many because, you know. So I had Epochal, Beretta, Funky Fluid, Simple Things, Fermentation, Cult of Oak, and New Bristol Brewery on mine.
I had Proud Beer, Trinity Brew Co, Mills Brewing, The Brewery, Simple Things Fermentation, Epochal, Blender, which I found out after I'd already put it on my list was actually just a series from Left Handed Giant. Glasshouse, Little Pomona, which is kind of cheating because it's cider, but I went with it, and Little Earth Project.
All right.
I think Proud Beer and Trinity were both rolled over from the year prior. Yeah. So I'm happy to announce that I did finally, after waiting so long, got to try Proud Beer because I got my office to buy a case of Proud Beer for Pride Month.
Nice.
Or Pride Week. I was like, we need to get this in. We need to have this. Happy days. So I got them to order a case of beers from that, and I got to try it then, and it was really great. Because the problem is like you could only buy them in big packs, and I was like, it's too much for me. And also I wanted to kind of spread the word, and my passion of beer is known in the office. So anytime I can, I'm like, it's this month, let's get a beer to fit this occasion. You know, I love themes. So I managed to try Proud, Mills, Simple Things, Epochal. I've got a whole bunch of blenders now, so it's like, got that. Glasshouse and Little Earth Project. Which ones did you tick off your list?
By drinking this funky fluid right now, I have done all of mine.
Woo!
Yeah, I did Epochal at the beginning of the year. Beretta, I think I've only had one, but I've still got another Beretta in the fridge. So they make really good big stouts. So I've got another good big stout from them. Simple Things, obviously, I think we've used their beers on the podcast a couple of times now.
Yes.
Cult of Oak. We had I don't know whether it was your first Cult of Oak, but my first was.
It was my first Cult of Oak.
It was at our bottle share at International Women's Collaboration Brew Day at Heist. Thank you very much to Helen for bringing that along. I have since had more Cult of Oak at bottle shares, but also got to meet Roberto at Generation Craft. He's lovely. Gives really good bear hugs. So there you go. New Bristol Brewery, I've had one of theirs, so I'm actually going to roll them over to next year because I want to drink some more of theirs.
New Bristol Brewery are fucking fantastic.
I know, they're really good, and I just haven't drunk enough of them.
Stouts are amazing. Yeah. I just had the Toblerone the other day, and it was like, mwah, chef's kiss. Love it. Rick had it a second time because he liked it so much. When he went back to the Hive, he had it again. I can help you solve this problem. Don't even worry about it. So
I just need to drink some more of theirs, I think. So
load up when you come here and you go to the Hive. Yeah. So I am rolling over all the ones I didn't have. So I'm rolling over Trinity because this is now like a thing. I'm on a mission to get Trinity because the problem is you very rarely see them in bottle shops that you can get online. And I tried to order direct from their website, and the problem was I'm not, this is no comment on shipping or anything else like that, but I was just trying to buy, a small, because I'm trying not to buy too much beer. Trying not to spend too much money, and the thing was like just to get a few, it was like the same amount of shipping as it was for that. So I was a little bit like, I just can't justify it right now. It was Christmas shopping season, everyone's having a tough time, and I especially know the breweries are having a tough time. So that is not, 100% not a problem. I just couldn't do it. So I was like, I'm going to roll it over, and this is 2023 is going to be the year. I've rolled over the brewery because I'm still adamant and determined to have that. And I've rolled over Little Pomona because I really want to try Little Pomona. I hear such good things. But again, it's not something that you see as commonly in shops, maybe because it's a cider and that's not the main focus of some of these shops. I don't know. Right.
What about if we were able to find, because they did some really good, they did like a set of 3 collaboration beers with Daya, and I had one of them at Indie Man and it was so good.
Were they ciders or beers?
Beers, but the beer was rested, so they were wild ales, but they were rested on like the lees left over from the cider making.
Oh yeah, okay. I mean, I'd like to try that. That's
delicious.
Interesting, but I still would like to just try. For me,
you just want to try the cider,
because I do just want to try the cider. Okay. I want it to be that they're the main, because I have had ones before where I've put somebody I've tried as like a collaboration, but I really want to try them as their own entity, unless it's like the collaboration. Because I imagine in that collab, it's probably phenomenal, but Daya probably was the main person there, and it was probably brewed there, and obviously it's beer. I want to try their cider, so but I would like to try that as well. So
delish.
I am considering finding somewhere like tonight that I can put an order. But
do you know what? We'll have a talk about that in a minute.
We'll chat about it later.
Yeah, we'll chat about that.
Who else have you added to your list now?
So on my list, I've got Left-Handed Giant. Now I've had Left-Handed Giant, but again, I've not had a lot of them. So I feel like I should do some more Left-Handed Giant. I feel like I need to pair this with just going to Bristol because I've not been. So
that is literally shocking.
Well, this is the thing though. We've been trying to go to Bristol, but then pair it in with visiting you as well, and we just haven't been able to make it work.
But also, we didn't say at the start, and I don't know. Did you end up doing it at the end? Did you end up picking out 3 for me?
Yes.
So just to announce as well, we're going to go through our list now, but we've also done a list of 3 for the other person. I have a few like slot-ins just in case you've already tried certain ones, but from that list of 3, you can either take one on as an extra, or you can bump out your other ones to have your full list.
So. That's fair. I think that's fair. So Left-Handed Giant, balance, because James was talking about how great their beers are, so I want to try those from Wilderness. New Bristol.
Spot there.
I put down Whiplash because I don't think I've had much of theirs, and they're an Irish brewery, so I want to try some more of theirs. Crossover Blendery, because they're difficult to get hold of, and I would like to try some of theirs. Boxcar, because I've only ever had the Dark Mild, and I feel like I should have some more. And then I was having a scroll because I was like, I normally I've got like clear ideas about what I want to try, and I didn't really have any this year. So I went and did a little scroll through a couple of beer online websites to see what I could find. And as I was scrolling through one particular one, I came across a brewery called Evensong, who make farmhouse ales, and they look really interesting. So I've added them to my list.
I'm laughing because
have you put on the list? Have I
you'll see why. You'll see why in a minute. But yeah, as some of them aren't actually on the list, but a bunch of them are ones that. So I made this like really big list of. I was like, yeah, cool. As I was going through and picking out mine, I was like, here's ones that I think I should do for Joe as well.
Yeah.
And there was like a bunch of them, like Boxcar, and I was like, I think she's already. I was like, I think she might have already tried these. I don't know. Like, I'm not 100%. Like, there was a whole bunch that I was like, not actually sure what you hadn't had. And I didn't want to look at your Untappd. Yeah. I was like, that's going to take way too long to try to do that.
I feel like we just need to go to Boxcar. Like, we need to do a trip to Boxcar.
There was quite a few that you named in there that I had on my list and scratched out.
Yeah.
Left-Handed Giant was one of those because I was literally like,
how funny.
I don't know. I've had Left-Handed Giant a lot.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think that Joe would really like the variety that they do, and it's high quality and they're really, really great, like just full stop. And then I was like, but you know what? I think she's at least had like 1 or 2 of them. And I know like there are like a bunch that are like pales, dippers, IPAs like that. And I was like, oh, then maybe not all of them you'll love, but it doesn't matter that you don't love all of them. But I also put crossover blendery on it. That one is one that made it to the list, so I'm gonna take that one out. I'm gonna cut that one out, but I also thought because of what it is they make, you'd really, really enjoy that. So that was on my list, so I'm gonna take that one straight out. But it's funny, I a lot of what you said I was like, yeah, and then I went, oh no, paring it down. So I couldn't help but like not, I was trying not to laugh as you were saying things, so I'm not laughing at your selection. No. I'm laughing because I literally picked out so many.
We're so in tune with each other.
So I would say, before you finalize your list here, and before I do my list, here's the ones I'm proposing for you.
Okay.
So you can either just add a bonus one, or if you're adding more than one, you're gonna have to replace them. There.
Okay.
Number 1, Sinister. They're a Scottish brewery. Yeah. I've had some of their beers because my mate Adam has shared some of them with me, and they are great. And they are like quite small batch, really high quality. A lot of them are stouts, and I think that you would really enjoy them. So that was one that I put on the list for you. My second one, now I'm trying to look at what I've got left on this. The second one I would say is Good Chemistry.
Oh yeah, that's another good one.
But have you tried them a lot?
No, I don't think I have.
Fine. Okay, because I've had them before.
Yeah.
A few years ago now. I think I've had them over the last few years, but I've had them. They're Bristol based, it's female co-owned. I didn't know if you had tried them before, because I think previously they had done like quite a lot of pales, like IPAs, dippers, you know, that kind of like that range of, not dippers, but pales and IPAs. So I thought you might not love them, but I had a look, and it's like they've done more. They have a bitter, they have a lager, they have a coffee stout, and I thought like you would be interested. And they have a very approachable range where they don't have too much. The labels, while they're very simple, they are still eye-catching, I think. They've got like just a nice color palette that they use, and I thought the fact
they
that
also
they're female co-owned, you'd like them as well.
A women's beer night like once a month at their pub.
Oh, I didn't know that.
We should try and see if we can go.
We should. I can work out of Bristol for a day, and we can go out. I can stay over there and we can go out at night. But yeah, so that was my second pick. And my third one, I've got two remaining. I'm going to give them both.
Give them both.
Going to give them both. One of them is Arbor, and I would say, I don't know if you've had a lot of Arbor.
I feel like I have had like not huge amounts, but I have had a fair bit of Arbor. I had their Vienna lager the other week, and it was absolutely beautiful.
So I saw that they had it, and I hadn't tried. The reason I put Arbor down was, again, like value for money is good. They're like, you get so much, but it's like decent quality. They have all the Simcoe ladies, which I thought that you'd appreciate, even though you don't love like pales as much. I felt like that reference, you would appreciate that. And also they have recently been doing like they did a sour recently that was absolutely amazing. And they've been doing more like big boy stouts, like more
but
like
Faked Alaska is a classic, mate. Have you had Faked Alaska?
Yes, Faked Alaska is a classic. I forgot about Faked Alaska that you have had that. So okay, so take that one out the running then. That's not that. So I'm gonna
love Arbor. I've had a few of those, so let's not put them on my news.
That's it. I put it down, but reluctantly, because I was like, I'm not sure, because I know they do
always a solid
like hazy pales and all that, but then they've also, and they had some stouts, but they've started doing more like chunky.
Oh, their black IPA is also really good, by the way.
It is indeed. I really do enjoy their beer, and the fact that it's like you get the proper pint can for just a good value. It's good value for money. And that's always my recommendation when someone's like, I want a variety, but I only have so much money and I need to make it last X amount of time. I'm like, Arbor. Okay, fine. So Sinister, Good Chemistry. You already have crossover on yours. That's not happening. Arbor, you've already tried, so that's not happening. So I'm actually going to say, this could be controversial, I'm actually going to say Mash Gang.
Do you know what? I nearly put Mash Gang down for you.
I'm putting Mash Gang down. I've had loads of Mash Gang. And the reason I say that is they have, when it comes to the alcohol, the no and low alcohol range, what I've had from them so far has been really good quality, and it's been really diverse. And even when they don't quite hit something, it's unique and it's interesting. Like it's like they are making alcohol-free beers that are not, they're not just like a standard IPA. Like then, I mean, they do have some of them that are like, you know, lager and that, but they're not all just like standard low, no alcohol, pale or lager. Like they're doing really creative, interesting things. And I thought maybe it's worth trying some more of those, because I don't know if you've tried a lot of them before.
I haven't, but I have already got a mash gang here that I bought.
So there you go. It's part of your try more of.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's the you've done the buying. It's the trying now. Yeah. It's Sinister, Good Chemistry, and Mash Gang are going to be.
I like all of those. I might just add all of those to my list. Like
your list is going to increase.
My list is now got really long. Right, do your list.
Okay, so obviously I said Trinity, the brewery, Little Pomona, those are on there. My next one, Crossover Blendery. And I basically suggested it to you because I picked it out for me and I was like, I think actually Joe would really like this. Yeah. So twinning, that's great. Campervan Brewing, and that's because we did our Scottish brewery episode and I sort of started looking into them. Just something about them made me want to try them. Like, I think it was people first and foremost, like their background story was really good, but also when you look at their beers, there's some really interesting funky beers and they're all like so reasonably priced for what the interesting complex levels that you're probably going to get. So that was on there. Also, again, I did the same thing as you. I looked through numerous sort of like websites to see what I could find. I put All Day Brewing, and I hadn't really heard of them much, but I saw them on a list and I went to go look them up, and it seems like they did some really like interesting complex beers that were in like bigger sharing bottles. So that's kind of like more what I'm looking for nowadays, is more like the more of the complex interesting things barrel aged in certain types of barrels and certain types of ingredients mixed in. So that seemed to kind of, from what I saw, that seemed to fit in. I've got Schlenkerla. Obviously I've had the Marzen. So this is a little bit different because my buy and try, I've obviously done the smoked Marzen before numerous times, loved it. What I want to try specifically is their other smoked beers.
The lager and the
Weizen. I want to try specifically, if I could only have one, it would be the Weizen.
Yeah.
And this is the first for me that I've ever put a brewery that I've had normal time, like that I've had numerous times on it. This time I'm putting on specifically because I really want to try the rest of what they have.
Let's just go to Bamberg.
I want to. We've talked about this so many times. I want to, and I think we can do it. I've put Chromatry on mine. Okay. I've heard really good things. Never tried it myself. And when I looked on their website, they have some interesting stuff like the Belgian Black Rye. Like, that sounds amazing. I tried to keep it within the UK as much as possible, obviously, with a few exceptions. But the next two are very much like US breweries. I put the Veil, and that's because from what I've seen of what they send over here, they make some quite complex barrel aged stuff, some good stouts. Just wanted to give them a try. I quite like the artwork that I've seen from them, so that's on there. And then Sacred Profane, which is Brianne Allen's new brewery. So, and that's realistically, so that's my stretch one. Yeah, because that's going to be something that's probably not going to ship over here, but it is one for when I go back next year, hopefully. I can make the trip because that's in the right area roughly. So I should be able to take a day trip and go and try some of that. So what are your ones that you were going to suggest to me?
So I've got 4.
Okay, cool. So there we go. We've done
that you can pick through.
Okay.
So Round Corner,
okay,
a brewery that I've met while I've been out and about. They do like a nice range of beers, and their beers are like nice and solid. I think you'd enjoy some of theirs. They do a nice dark lager.
Okay, I like that.
They're good. Sure Shot.
I've tried them.
Yeah,
I've tried them.
I also put Boxcar down for you.
Tried them as well, but I could drink more of it.
And I put down Baron because they look like an interesting brewery, but they're not for me. In the styles that they make, but I thought they might be for you.
I almost put them down for me, and then I was like, I'm not gonna do it. I'll pick something else. You know what? What I'll do is I will take out the Veil and put in Round Corner, and I will use Baron as my bonus. There we go. It's officially amended on my list. So there we go. I've got 11 now.
8, 9. I've got 10. So
there we go.
There we go.
And if you had to say, so like I kind of know who I would pick. Your top brewery of the year, do you think that would be outside of, let's keep it outside of people that we are friendly with, because I don't want there to be any accusations of bias or anything else, because we are friendly. We've got friends that work and own some amazing fucking breweries. They've come on our podcast numerous times. It would be really, it almost feels unfair to pick one of this. So like someone that we are completely unbiased, no contacts for, who do you think that you would say was your brewery, your favorite brewery?
That's really difficult.
But the problem is you've probably got,
because I know loads of people. So. I don't know, I might have to have a think about that.
Okay, I can say mine unequivocally. Holy goat, hands down.
Like, oh, you know what? Yeah, no, I agree.
Holy goat. If I were going to say one that I have literally no connection with, but would continue to buy, not that I, for the record, I'm not only buying these breweries because of the connection. They make fucking amazing beer. But somebody that I have literally no connection with, but I will continue to buy, and I think are making absolutely wicked, interesting, complex beers. Holy goat. Like all day, every day.
So we just need to cultivate that relationship this year then. So add that
manifest that relationship. Just because I just want to be like, I just want to tell them how good their beer is. Like honestly, anytime someone's like, what should I get? Like, what's going to be interesting? What's good for? I'm like, oh, holy goat, it's fun. Great.
Holy goat, yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
Oh, finally moving into the sad last bit.
Yeah.
Goals for the new year. It's not sad. It's happy. It's happy. But that means we're coming to an end, and I'm going to go finish off the rest of my cheese. But before we do, we've now picked our goals for ourselves, either individually or podcast wise, that we want to do within 2023. Jo, what were yours?
So I think I want to kind of develop things this year. Like, I feel like I want to develop the podcast. I want us to be like making the episodes that people want to listen to, and build that a bit. I want to develop my Etsy shop. I feel like I said that last year, but do you know what? I've done 9 sales this year, and I didn't even push it that much. Because I didn't have time. I want to I think I want to develop that more. I've got plans for that. So let me know if you want beer printables and what sort of things you'd like, because I can make them. I'd like to do more talks, but that's more difficult to kind of do, but we'll see how that goes.
I don't know you say that, but where you work now, that's definitely more.
That's true. And I'd like to. We did a fair bit of traveling this year, but I think I want to do more traveling. There's definitely places that I was like, oh yeah, I really want to go to these places, and didn't get to them this year. So I think I want to do some more of that next year.
Cool. I mean, I think ours align fairly well. So I mean, I did 5 because I'm OCD. I love my even amount of numbers. I'm like, I can't. It needs to be a good number. So I've done 5. I've got that. Similarly, I would like the podcast to do more out and about and in person stuff. Whether that be like recording an episode in person with somebody, or just traveling. Like, I want to travel to more beer destinations. Whether that's we go somewhere and then come back and record, or we record on location, I don't know. But that's something that I would like for me personally, but also for us as a podcast. 2, I would love to do Oktoberfest this year.
Oh.
I think it feels achievable. I feel like it's something I could realistically do over a long weekend. I'd really like to do it. I want to go and see more of the breweries that we love. Like, I want to see that the breweries that we love opening up tap rooms, like those that don't already have them.
Yeah.
So like Echo, for example, I would love to see like Echo get their tap room. I want to see Miracai's. So obviously we know the crowdfunders happening there. We've talk about that and in a different episode, and we've both shared it on socials. Like, I want that to be up and running. And alternatively, like the ones that are open, like Tartarus, I want to get a chance to go and see the tap room. So I want to just be able to go out and support the breweries that we love who already have tap rooms open. But I also want to see a positive thing, the ones that don't have them yet, or are in the process, actually open up. So that's one that I want, not even so much for me, but just for them. For equally, I want to be sort of more involved in a hands-on way with the breweries that we love and just the community in general. So I kind of have like, you know, in that bracket, it's I want to do more brew days. I'd like to get at least 2 in, because I know that there's already one planned for this year, so it feels cheating if I say 1. So I'd like to do, you know, at least 2 brews this year if possible, and you know, maybe I make that as, even if that's a home brewing thing and I home brew with you, like
let's plan to brew a beer for our 3rd birthday of the podcast.
Okay, that sounds like a good plan. We're committing to that now.
If you are a brewery that wants to brew with us, let us know. We will come brew with you for our 3rd birthday.
And if not, we're home brewing it, because no matter what, a beer is happening for our 3rd birthday. So yeah, there's, you know, I want to brew at least twice this year on a commercial level. I want to go to at least 1 beer festival this year, which that's an easy one to tick off. And one that I put under that bracket that's a little bit harder for me is I want to attend at least 1 bottle share. Whether that's organized like on a bigger level or just people I know, I'd like that. And my number 5 is I want to be more on top of checking beers on Untappd, but also to just get, as part of that, to be more focused on the writing that I've wanted to do, because I feel like this past year I've had a lot of ideas of stuff that I wanted to write about, but by the time I got around to actually doing it, it's like old news, and I'm like, oh, I can't do it anymore, because either I don't remember about it, or it's just gone and done, and I just can't now. It has to wait another year, and some of them were quite good ideas of what I've had, and I just didn't get to execute them. I kind of disappointed myself. So I just want to be more on top of things, both with check-ins and with writing next year.
So add me a 5th one in, number 5. I want to try and keep on top of my beer stash. Like the problem this year was because I was then where I was studying beer, I was buying particular styles because I needed to learn about those styles, and the best way to learn about them is to drink them. And so my stash got a bit out of hand.
Yeah, so mine too. I guess out of 6 one, I want to be in control of that as well. Maybe my number 5 is just be more in control of like all of it,
because I'd like to be more on top of it. And I've got beers and I'm like, oh, these are really good, but by the time I get around to drinking them or doing something with them, they're not that they're out of date, but they're not as current. So then
it's hard to talk about them when they've been out.
It's hard
for
to talk about them, because then
6-7 months, whatever.
Right, because people then can't get them if they see it and go, oh, that sounds nice. They can't get it, so you don't want to be talking about beers that people can't get hold of. So I kind of want to try and keep on top of that this year.
There we go. That's it. We'll have to hold each other to some of these, because some of these I think we can hold each other accountable. We can be accountability buddies. Accountability buddies. So I think on some of them that's realistic, we can do that. So and let's get that trip to Europe sorted. Done and dusted, real easy. But I think it's been a really good year, and I'm really looking forward to next year and like the exciting things we're going to be doing next year. And I think more of that will come out, but we have things in the works that we're in the process of planning, and I'm excited to share with people. I don't know, is there anything we can already say? I guess
we've moved platforms. Yay.
We say it like we chose that. We didn't choose it.
Our podcasting platform decided that they weren't going to host podcasts anymore, so we had to choose a new one. So we've done that, but it means that we're going to have some different features. So we're going to be working away on this. We're looking at finding ways to help keep, the podcast is free for you listeners, but there are expenses that are tied to it. So if you enjoy what you're hearing, if you want us to be able to do more things, then your support would be wonderful. So we're looking at ways that we can work on that. Let us know the ways that you would like to support us. Do you want to do like a subscription based thing where maybe we do bonus episodes? What bonus things would you like to hear? Do you want merchandise? Do you want t-shirts? Do you want stickers? What do you want? Let us know. We're going to work on it.
Let us know the kind of stuff you want, because we are sitting down in the not so distant future to look at some planning of things and to figure out what we're going to be doing in more detail. We have some rough ideas of some things, but those rough ideas only matter if they're things that you want to hear. So yeah, it would be really good to get feedback. We've already had feedback like across the year of things that people want to see that we're trying to work to incorporate, but it would just be good to know if other people want those things as well, so we can prioritize the ones that people really, really want to see. So yeah, definitely let us know that. And Joe, if people want to come and let you know what they want to hear, what they want to watch, where can they get a hold of you?
Come and let me know what you want, because we want to make it for you. So you can find me at my beer school, which is Love Beer Learning, and we are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Pinterest. You can usually find me on Instagram and TikTok. You can also come to my website, which is lovebeerlearning.co.uk, and the podcast is there on the blog. As it turns out, looking at our stats, that's the most place that people go to listen to it. So that's exciting. Or you can email me at lovebeerlearning@gmail.com. Tori, if people want to suggest things to you, where can they find you?
Yeah, as always, if you want to give me some suggestions, tell us what you liked and didn't like with the last few years we've been doing this for you. You can find me on Instagram at adventures_in_hoptimism, or on Gmail at adventuresinhoptimism@gmail.com. Or you can tell us both on Instagram at a woman's brew, or at our email, a woman's brew podcast@gmail.com.
And don't forget, we're on YouTube as well.
We are indeed. Go there, watch the videos if you want to look at our faces and everything we're showing. You want to see my big old block of cheese that I still got going on there. But yeah, I'm gonna go finish the rest of this block of cheese, Joe, and have the rest of my Christmas day.
My 10% beer.
Oh, well, here's to the last 12 months, and here's to another 12.
On that note, cheers.